How's it, guys? How's it, Claire? Afternoon. You are JPY. Don't know how many people actually went for that trade yesterday. Got it just above 150. It's actually coming to the party now, eh? I don't think it's my idea. Somebody else suggested it, but to be honest, I agreed with it. And well, a couple of you must have gone for it. I wouldn't have written down. I think 2 or 3 went for it. So I don't know if they're here now. But if they did, well, pretty good so far. Obviously, modified stop as normal, but pretty good going. I think of Farney and Marnie. I don't know if anyone follows cricket, but the English team, they've got 3 guys there called Stokes, Wopes, and Folks. So yeah, make me think of that. So Farney and Marnie.
Good afternoon, Roger and everybody. I thought I saw Marnie saying hello. So I just thought, hi, Marnie and Farney. It sounds good.
It does indeed.
Yeah, just waiting for Marius.
Yeah, we'll call him Mari, okay? Farney, Marnie, and Mari. How's that?
I don't think you'll like that.
I don't. Well, I don't know. True. Tormat wouldn't like that. You know, it's today's American-led political correct trend. Do you ever remember Johnny Cash's song, A Man Called Sue? And he was so upset about it, made him a tough guy to be called Sue. I think that song would have been banned today. Ah.
I'm afraid I don't remember that song.
Don't remember it? Quite a famous song, Johnny Cash. Well, I'd never heard him before. He became famous for that song. A boy named Sue. And he called that, my name is Sue. And people used to take the mickey out of him. Obviously made a few years ago, and then it toughened him up. That's why it was called Sue. But you say that now, you'd be in big trouble. In fact, you'd be sort of, you know, well, yeah, banned, cancelled.
Yes, that might happen, but sometimes on in the trading room we see names, and then I sit and wonder, is this a guy or a girl?
Like I've got to care not to put my foot in it. I mean, like, I don't think he's on at the moment. I think of Vic as a lady's name. It's short for Vikesh. It's a guy. So yeah, absolutely. And I thought some names were female and actually they're male. And some are pretty similar. I'm trying to think of an example of it. And I thought it was a guy's name and there was actually a woman's name. So yeah. But then he gets, what's that actress called? Sean something other. Getting their surname now. And it's actually a female, yeah. Oh, by the way, I just said actress. I'd be in trouble with that. Can't say actress anymore. You've got to say actor. Otherwise, again, you're in trouble. Quite incredible, eh? For a free country, free speech. Don't think so.
So we can't say actress anymore.
No. That's being highly sexist. You'd be a mess.
Oh,
If
yes,
you
of
said it on
course.
TV, you'd be out, mate. You wouldn't get another job in Hollywood. No. That's highly sexist. You've got to say actor.
Yeah, of course. You can't call a spade anymore.
Well, yeah, that's going for a long time. But I'm thinking more of manageress. I once said, "Are you the manageress?" She said, "I'm the manager." Don't be sexist. The American woman really ticked me off on that. Another one, when I want to talk about trading, is gender fluidity. And I agree, but I love animals. You know what I'm saying? You know, that fuss about that male turned to female and won the swimming gold.
Yes.
And saying, you know, and
Yes.
as a matter of fact, I think that's quite right. You should be allowed to, because as a matter of fact, I've got this pet cheetah, and this pet cheetah has rights as well. This pet cheetah thinks it's a human. So I'm entering him into the 100 meters in the next Olympic Games. That's fair, isn't it?
I think so. We've got two cats that think they're human in any case, so we call them our children. We speak to them like they're our children.
Yeah. So you're genderist and not gender fluid if you don't allow me to put my cheetah into the gold medal 100 meters in Olympic Games. Yeah. Just like you might have a chance of winning, actually. Yeah. No, it's yeah, beyond ridiculous. It's become, I think more news is given to it than it should be. It's more because it's amusing. But the trouble is, it deflects off important stuff. Anyway, it's amusing. Right, yeah, Era JPY. Did anyone go for it sitting here? No, it came out as a trade idea in the trading room yesterday. I got it down for yesterday, so a couple of people must have gone for it, would have written it down. So, yeah, if anybody go for it, anybody here go for it. It's not much point me going on much stop loss if nobody's in this trade.
I'm in EuroJappy, but this morning when I started my laptop, I accidentally closed the position and in a ridiculous small amount. But then I saw that, listen, this is turning more like a buy, and I put it in again as a buy. And since then, it's slowly going down. But I'm sticking to it now, just to punish myself.
Okay, now, have you listened to this finally? We've just got something to a fail-safe trading method to replace all other trade. What we do is we wait for Anna Marie to go in the opposite direction, and then we know which one to trade. So I'm just teasing you there.
No, yeah, you're so right. You're so right. I can't tell you how many times I've entered a trade and I've looked at it and I've analyzed it and I looked at the technicals and everything. And then when I put it in, it goes in the other direction. So many times.
Okay, well, I mean, your shoulders, I'm sure, broad enough because I'm going to tease you even more. You analyze it very intelligently and then forgot all about it and acted emotionally. I think that's probably more the strategy by the sound of it. Because I don't know why suddenly you jump in from short to long just because you saw a bit of green instead of a red. That is that emotional trading. Pity, but there it is. Anyway, at least you can laugh about it, it's the main thing. Okay, yeah. But anyway, is anybody still in that trade? Anybody there? No one's mentioned anything. So we'll leave it. But if you're going to start suggesting modifying stop loss to protect profits because you're nicely over 60 pips in profit, nice one. Yeah, I've not really suggested it, but I clearly agreed with it and I pushed it myself. Well spotted. I think it's actually Marius. Is he here? No, he's not here. I think it's him. Anyway, but yeah, nice trade there. No one's in it, so not much point going on about it. Well, before we go to the bad news, good news. CAD JPY. Anybody still in this one? Modify the TP because if you didn't, obviously.
No, I got knocked out.
Okay, but you got knocked out at a good profit. The way you said it there, I thought, my God, you haven't lost on it. You got a good profit on it, did you?
No, the profit was quite nice. Thank you very much. I got out on the raised one 600 because it turned around at 0.450, and it did then my stop loss at 600.
60.
0.600.
Oh, 0.6. Yeah, 0.6, 60. Yes, good enough. 60. Yeah, that's true. That's right. Here it did. It went up there. Yeah, knocked you out in that sudden jump. And that 15-minute candle, I thought that might have happened. Pity about that. But anyway, some guys TP or whatever, some guys might have had 80 in the original, left it there, still in with a modified whatever. But we'll leave that, sit the TP. The other guys who still in modified stock TPs don't need me to hold their hand. They know what they're about now, and they can carry on with that trade. So that was a good one. So we got out with the pretty good ones. Now we go to the bad one. Well, it's not bad yet, but it's not looking pretty. I made my
Sorry, Uncle. The Euro JPY, I quickly had to run to the boys. What do you mention there? I got also hit with my raised stop loss because I had to run to town. And then I should have actually put a trailing stop in. So I made a boo-boo on this one. But this was my suggestion yesterday evening.
Oh, I remember now. It's yours. It's the name is Fani, not Mari. I won't forget this. What a pity. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well done, Fani, but pity. Okay. Anyway, so there it is. All right. So be it. Okay. WTI. We'll go to WTI now. Yeah, that's disappointing to say the least. And we've got a wide stop. I'm not sure where the entry was going to be, so we tried 71. What was it? 71.20, I think it was, or either actually. But I thought we'll have a wide stop. We don't go up and down. It can happen in the States, etc. But I thought at least 70 would hold, and the things come back to, well, it came down to, right, look how far it came down. Far down as that. I didn't expect that, but everyone should still be in it. They might be groaning and moaning, but you're still in it. You've got your, as I keep saying, I keep reiterating, you've worked out your risk. You know if you get stopped out, it's not going to damage you irreparably. You can fight another day. So you got to protection, let it do its thing, and maybe we'll get a bounce here. It's disappointing. I thought 70 would hold actually, but it hasn't. But doesn't mean to say we'll give up on it. We've got the stop in. Let's just keep our fingers crossed, and it will turn around. Okay, right. So one hit the TP. The other one's doing all right, and this one, well, work in progress. Leave it at that. Okay, good stuff. I presume most of the other stuff is jumping around a bit. We'll go back to the NAS again. Yeah, jumping around there. No surprise there. It looks large because I've got it massive zoomed in, not out, you go wrong with that. It's massively zoomed in, and it's only a 50-minute chart. Just remember that. Don't get excited. You go to the loo and come back, and you've forgotten you're on a 5-minute chart. Hey, this is doing well or badly without checking first what chart you're on. If you put on the weekly, it doesn't quite look quite sexy. You get the idea. So don't forget that's on a 50-minute chart, and it's doing its normal thing, jumping around a bit. That's high-speed traders getting in and out. A few retail playing around. A lot of guys who don't know who the hell Powell is probably playing around with it as well. We've got a large amount of people who don't really know. It's a heck of a lot, should we put it politely, about trading who are trading at the moment worldwide. So that a lot of that move will come from that. But overall, it's sideways going into this evening. So no surprise there. Gold, we know, hit our TP, so that's fine. Some guys modified stops, got a little bit higher, and then it reversed, stopped out. They all made a nice profit. I suggested rather, leave it alone. I'm sticking with that. Leave it alone. Don't chase it up or down. Leave it alone and see what comes out. If you have, personally speaking, nothing with the trading room, a stance it's going to be very good for the dollar, which means bad for gold, then you can sell it. If the dollar's going to get very weak, then you can buy it. I'm leaning to, but please, I beg of you, this is just an opinion. Do not act on it. Do not trade on it. I'm just going to voice my particular opinion. I think looking forward, we might get a slightly weaker dollar. I think Powell's going to say that the 0.25% rise will be it for now. The banks tightening up, smaller banks are on the edge. All the banks now in the States are very, very circumspect on their lending, much more critical than they were in the past. And I think that part will take care of some of the inflationary worries he's got, and which might alleviate actually having another interest rate rise. If he mentions anything like or even hinted, and I just said, you'll see a weaker dollar. So I'm leaning towards that. But that 100% say it is not a trade idea. It could completely go the other way around. I'm just thinking, just stating what I think is going to happen, just more or less for fun and out of interest, and the reasons behind it. Okay. So, but I'm not certainly not going to act on it, so I suggest you don't. But I see a little bit of a weaker dollar maybe at the end of the day for the reasons I gave. But we shall see. And don't blame me, it's completely opposite around. It's more guesswork at this time. It's just an educated guess. Well, I think it's an educated guess anyway. Okay. Right. Anything else? Anything happens to AUD CAD and it was still in it? It's giving us a bit of jip. Still giving us a bit of jip dancing around. I think, to be honest, this afternoon, I think you're going to get more dancing around than anything else. I'm going to be probably pretty reluctant to okay a trade. An EJ1 you might, but even EJ1, we did mention originally, there's a major fundamentals coming up, rather leave it alone. That's the one that exception for trading purely on the momentum, because that momentum could completely change on a major fundamental, which this is. This is a worldwide major one, a big boy, a really serious one. So I'm going to have to do some real fast, slick pitch to push me to agree with the trade this afternoon, to be honest. But I'm trying to be open-minded, but I think it would be more reason to leave than to go for something. But still, that doesn't mean to say we can completely twiddle our thumbs and talk about the rugby, whatever, or what Prince Harry's up to in the States with his good lady, or any other gossip, unless you want to, of course. We can sort of go into stuff because we do have some new guys in here. We've got some guys like Claire's just been a couple of weeks and some a little bit longer and trying to find their feet a little bit. So we can do a bit of QA and stuff. Somebody say, don't everyone laugh at me, but it seems a bit of a silly question, but what is that? And you suddenly find most of the other people didn't know that. I thought you already knew that, guys. No. Oh, great. So, yeah, maybe we can solve some of the basic situations. But I've not mentioned any name, but somebody who's been in the trading room a few times came on the live chat today and asked a question that this stage of the game shouldn't have been asked if they'd been sort of taken on board what's happening in the TR. It's not a major thing, it's quite a small thing, and I'm certainly not going to mention names, I'm fair on the person. But maybe we've got, instead of asking on a message system like live chat, rather do it in a communal area like this, where we can chat and put charts up. It's far easier to explain. You know what I'm saying? It's like phoning up somebody married 20 years and just got divorced. Can you send me a WhatsApp quickly why you got divorced? Well, come on, give me a break. That's a bit more to the text, so you get what I'm saying. So just go through a few questions. The answer is not yes, by the way, it's only no. It's yes, I'm happy. Anybody not know how to use the position size calculator? If you don't take all day, just bang out no, and I'll explain. Can't wait all day. If you can't even answer that question to the no, I'm assuming you say yes. If you can't say no and you don't know, well, I can't help you. So anybody not have the position size calculator and doesn't know how to use it and doesn't understand the importance of getting the right volumes. Anybody there not know how that works? I know it's more for the other classes, but we might as well clear this quickly up now. Anybody not know how important that is? Give you a moment to tap out no, it shouldn't take long. Yes, I'm not worried about it. I'm assuming most do. I hope all of you do, but just in case. No, I'll quickly explain. Give you another 5 seconds. If I don't come up, I'll move on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you all know. Good. Right. All know CFDs are shares. So you don't use this position size calculator for shares. You use the one you find in your LMS, which is an Excel spreadsheet, and shares open +3, and the volumes are completely different. You might go in 0.04, 0.06, 0.05, 0.01 on a I don't know, AUD on a currency. But in shares, you might go 1, 5, 6, 10, or whatever. The reason being, specifications, click on one here, right click. All of them will say 100,000 on the Forex. That's your contract size. If you go to a share, your contract size is one share. So it's a very different figure. So that's why your volume has been much larger in shares and much fractions, much smaller fractions or whatever on currencies. Anybody not got that? Everyone should have it. If you haven't been trading, maybe you're not, but anybody in trading should all have that. Oh, great. That's slightly more involved than the complete total basic company to actually pick me up. It worries me when people are not getting the absolute like one-on-one is do basics. This is a little bit more involved. Right. I understand the moving out as well as the buy zone. So my question, how did the TP and all right. Right. You don't have a TP. Number one, Claire, you don't have a TP. You have a trading stop. So now you're going to do a sell on this one, right? Now, how do you do a sell? You go on there and hey presto, it's below. It's on this one's above. Or let's just for example, it's above. Okay, so you decide, you check the daily, it's in the buy zone. Yes, it is. The price is up here. Again, obviously I'm using an example. The price is up here. It's above the 250. We ignore the 100. It's up here somewhere. So we want to buy it. So you check on the hourly one. Yes, it's above the red line there. So you're going to buy it. You go in at market. You work it out at 90 Rand a micro. 90 Rand a micro. So you can work your risk out from that. And you put in a trading stop of 50 pips. If you don't do a trading stop, you put a normal stop in a 50 pips. No TP. Right. The trading stop will automatically move up with you. If you're doing a modified stop, you can. Then you let it run. Maybe if a big fundamentals come up, you're not going to be doing anyways. It's normal trading, not a trading day. So unless a bomb goes off somewhere or something really fixed and unexpected happens, it's not going to go screaming up like this guy here. That's the fundamental. And we checked on our economic chart, economic calendar, that there's no fundamentals coming out. So there's none coming out. If you might put a 50. Maybe got stuff to do, right? Zip out like fun, the shops or whatever come back, and it's up here, up about 25 pips, 20 pips, make it 25 pips. All you do is you modify your stop up by 25 and keep it about 50 pips behind until you're eventually stopped out or it starts flying off and deciding you're taking profit. Okay.
Roger. The next one, AUD CHF, is a good example for a sell.
Right, let's go to the daily. Hi, Marius. Claire, right, look at this one here, Claire. Perfect, thank you, good stuff, Claire. Right, now, first of all, it's below the brown and the blue. You're not worried about the others, the brown and the blue. You check on the daily. So we're going to do buy or sell it. Clearly, we're going to sell it. So you go to the hourly, it's got to be below, not above, below. So here we got a sell on our hands. I must admit, I like this one as well. I like it in the normal, as a matter of fact. Okay, so now we sell. And know it might be sort of going sideways and all this, and you might think going the 4 hours doing that, and the week is doing that. Well, the momentum's all worry about the momentum. Only thing fundamentally worry about is there going to be in the next hour or two later on this evening a major fundamental coming out in the Swiss franc? No, there isn't. And the AUD, well, what's the time over there? It's about 2, 3 in the morning, where it was over there. So no, there ain't. So you do a sell. So you go in at market and you do at 59.11. It turns out you put your stop in at 59.61, no TP, and you press the volume you've worked out at 90 Rand a micro. Right, it continues down. All right, TP, because as long as it stays below the 10-day 10-hour moving average, you stay in it. So a week goes by and the thing's right down, I don't know, wherever, and it's still below the 10. You keep modifying to protection your 50 until eventually you're stopped out. Or it jumps around and starts quickly moving up, maybe a fundamental. Why wait to get stopped out? Then you can say that fundamental, things are going wrong. Either modify your stop to maybe 20 pips away from the 50 or take it out. That's a bit of thinking on your feet. But that's the general idea behind it. And this is one you can look at to do right now, if you like. Okay? Work it out. If you're not confident, go for a smaller one. The minimum is 90 Rand. Risk per 180 for 2 micros. You get the idea. And then put in the stop or the trading stop if you want. Do you all know how to put a trading stop in? Show you how to do it. What you do is you see right across here, There's a little symbol beside the Euro GBP. You right click on it. Then you go to trading stop, and then you go to custom. Right click, trading stop, custom. Remember, we're after pips, not points. 10 points, 1 pip. So then you'd put in 500. 50 times 10 is obviously 500. So you put in 500 and press OK. This will have a little T there. You'll see a little T there to confirm you got the trading stop. You can let it run, or you can cancel it and recustomize to 30 pips. If you've been in there several days and you're massive profit, you start to think, well, hang on a minute. I know it's still above the red, but it's getting to the stage we could get a bounce here. We've got a fundy coming up in a couple of hours' time. This is called thinking. Let's not get too cute here. I'm 200 pips in profit, work beautifully, and the fund is coming up, but it might go further. Funding might be in my favor. Let's just change that trading stop to 30 pips. Cancel one. How do you cancel it? You go here, you go to trading stop, and you click on none. See the word none. Click it, you've cancelled it, then you go back in, custom, and you put in 300. Okay, it, and let that run. Hope all clear. Is that clearly put? Do you think, Fadi? Do you think everyone will understand that explanation? I do speak a bit quickly.
No, well explained. I think even when I understand it, you explain it very well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad. I won't have to look for accolades. It's more, thank you anyway. I appreciate that. I'd love to make sure, because I do know I get some kickback. So one guy complained about my accent and said, and he said, my accent bloody awful, can't stand a word I'm talking about, and I've wasted time getting the TR. I know it's only one of a few, but still, if we were taken on board, maybe I might not explain it right. It's never mind why I do it right now, as long as you've got the concept. That's the basic thing.
Okay, I was thinking of taking it, but this morning we took the one I took the one that Mario suggested on the AUD NZD. So I don't want to be overexposed on the AUD. So I'll leave this one and see how it develop after the announcement this evening.
Okay, you stumbled on some of that. Do you hear what Mario said, guys? Fani said, guys? He didn't want to be overexposed in one specific currency. That's a good point to bring up and discuss here. I got 3 great trade ideas: the US dollar CAD, the US dollar, Euro US dollar, and GBP US dollar. Hang on a minute, you start saying they're looking pretty good, but I'm a little bit worried about overexposing in the dollar. Do you understand? That means you might say, oh, I like all 3 of them. I think I'll pick 2. Maybe leave the other one out, or maybe go, well, I don't know, or maybe go a little bit small on all 3. That's again a bit of a tightrope walk, because as he quite rightly pointed out, you don't want to be overexposed in the currency. AUD is looking good. I might go 2. Actually, sometimes I've gone 3, but I don't think I've ever gone 4, where I'm gone NZD, USD, AUD, USD, USD CAD, Euro USD, and then bloody GBP. Then if something goes wrong with it, bloody USD, all 5 trades are gone. Then it's like saying you all your eggs in one basket. You want to diversify. And commissioners say you need to diversify it, guys. Look at me blank, what it means. It means you don't want all your eggs in one basket. And you might have 5 different trades, but they're all exposed in one specific currency. In this example, the USD, it means you're overexposed. That's what I'm trying to point out, and it's take on board. Having said that, I don't mind being in 2, and I quite frankly, I might push to 3, and I've done it. But I don't think if I have, I apologize, but I don't think I've been in 4 exposed. I will get 4 AUDs or 4 NZDs or 4 Swiss franc ones, even though I think they're all pretty good. Just don't like being overexposed in one currency. Okay, good point.
No, I must warn everybody that I was overexposed on the yen a couple of weeks back when it changed and they started buying bonds back, the Bank of Japan, and I nearly wiped my account on that occasion.
So you found out that the hard way. And one of the unfortunate things in life, we tend to learn by cock-ups, not from what goes right, but what goes wrong. And so it's not just preaching that because you heard it somewhere in the theory, you found it in practice, not to overexpose in one currency. Unfortunately, it was the hard way, but at least you've learned, okay. NZD, you're in 3, maximum 3 in my opinion, Marius. Again, this is my opinion. Marius can do what he bloody well likes. It's his money, he's over 18, you know what I mean? You put in 6 different NZD returns him on. I'm just throwing it out there. I personally would be not keen to go into another NZD trade. But 3 should be okay. I've done that many times. So I think 2 should be. I have done quite a few on 3, but that's certainly pushing it. 4 is really overexposing. And I keep saying Mark now. Farney has had the actual experience to prove that. He'd won the lottery, it all came off. But in the end, it didn't. And that one currency nearly broke his account. That's what you don't want to be dependent on. If you got 5 and you're all correct, you can say, I can risk 100 on each. That's ridiculous. Make me 250 on each. And I got 5 trades out. You're not diversified. Each one of them got the same currency in. And then something goes wrong on that specific currency. You're not risking 250. You're risking 5 times 250. And that could come back and seriously put you up again. Not just physically, but financially, but mentally. Confidence destroyed. And getting confidence back is a hard work. Yeah. Once a person loses the confidence, it's a while to get it back. And that's the last thing you want to lose. Just to change the subject, anyone still in that CAD JPY interest, or is everybody out of it now? Because yeah, it's one area I've gone on about, has shown how if you run with it, you can run with the profits. Finally, I didn't think you were no. So here's the point I'm trying to make is, there's a good example of how to run with your profits. That gave you just over, including costs, just over 200 pips profit if you stuck with it for the TP. That's what you want to go back and think, well, hang on, I lost 40 here and 50 there. That one has made up for that. That's what it, run with it. And hoping I'm curing the guys that emotional, sorry, Anne-Marie, where we're going along, see a bit of red, and it turns along, pops up a bit, and then comes flying off, and now you're going the wrong way. Stick with the strategy, don't chop it, change it midstream. Also like golf, you don't change your swing in the middle of a competition. You keep that for your pro and the practice range. Okay, but 3 is your maximum, my opinion, Marius. 2 preferably, 3. If you see they're really good, maybe, but just be circumspect. If something goes wrong with NZD, you're going to get pissed off. Your position sizing is certainly improved. I'm not telling everyone it is. It's not a lot better. So you'll still be in the game, but you're going to be psychologically pissed off. That's not a better, polite, diplomatic word. You're going to be pissed off. Simple as that. Right. Any cover yet in this damn WTI? I think it pissed me off too much because we were using it now. Thought it might be starting to get going a bit. I'm trying to. I think it's going to hover now, to be honest. And it's going to wait. That's perfect.
Roger.
Yep, go on.
That release on the was it non-farm? Sorry, I closed it. The non-farm employment change rate. That
ADP.
was higher at 2:15.
ADP, yeah, I forgot about that. Thanks so much. Checking it now. Good point. Forgot about that. Just check it out again. I want to go into that. Anything's getting in the way. Put FXS, just put adverts in front of me. Silly thing that gets in the way. All right. Came out at 290. Wow. Way up. Way up. Way up. Now,
Exactly.
a lot of people see that as a precursor. Well, it's meant to be, not see it correctly, seeing it. It's meant to be a precursor for the non-farm. You're quite right. Automatic data processing, ADP for short. Right. Now, that in theory means we're getting a far bigger jobs report figures than I've seen that being wrong several times on the trot. I can't remember last month, but definitely last two or 3 months, I know it's been wrong most of the time, and the opposite occurred. So I think it can be like mainstream media, it can be the result of misinformation. Differences are not doing it on purpose, they're just releasing figures. I'm strongly suggesting, I'm talking from experience here, don't take a lot of notes of that. even hint that you could start saying, why bother with a straddle? I'm going to go in because I think because it's pretty clear the figure's going to be much higher. You might be lucky, you might be right, but it could be wrong. And I can't remember last month, but certain the month before, the month before that, it was completely wrong. It was the ADP was better than expected, and the other was worse, and vice versa. I can't remember which way around. But that's so just be careful of that. What I'm trying to reiterate: wait till you see the reaction after the dart release, and use the straddle trade that will react to that information rather than you preempting it. Because I've seen more tears than happiness come by people trying to get cute. One of the guys, I certainly will not mention name of Pam, was pretty damn short on that, and he piled a lot of his guys in on the way you expect to go on an NFP. He didn't do a straddle. I'm not sure he's actually aware of it, but anyway, he didn't. And the thing came back, no stop, none of that, and he came back and screamed through and bit him badly. And now he had to cope with all the guys phoning up straight. You're supposed to know what you're doing, what's happening here, and he got an enormous amount of flack on it. Don't try and preempt it. Okay. Have a straddle trade and see what happens after the figure's released. If you think you know, there's a lot cleverer with much more experience, much better equipment, much better computer systems will know more. And if they don't know, pretty sure you don't. So don't get cute. Okay. If you see it's an easy, no-brainer idea, sometimes some simple thing comes out and never thought of, but not very often. They've got phenomenally multi-million-dollar computer systems trying to find things out. I wouldn't get too cute with them to try and beat them at home ground. If they can't find out, and once they do, we won't have a market. They've got to have someone to take the opposite side. Okay, right. Margin levels 825%. Okay, someone explain. Not sure everyone understand that. It just reminds me. A guy came on today and couldn't understand when he put some money in to defend the margin. What happened was his margin. Free margin level went shooting through the roof, and he couldn't understand it. He didn't like put a fortune, put something. Why did that happen? So I checked his account, and he was on the NAS, and he had a large amount of sells and a large amount of buys on the NAS. I'll tell you right now, it was over 35, I think it sells about 25, 28 something buys. So he had about 6 net short. So out of it, what am I, 35 and 20, about 63, don't know what we did, never mind. 63 different trades, all 0.01, 63 of them. I'm not mentioning names, it's quite legal. I won't say who it is, it doesn't refer to here anyway. But the point is, lack of knowledge, there's nothing wrong with the guy, intelligent guy, fine. Didn't realize that when you have a hedge position, you release margin automatically back into your account. So now, I want people to understand the masses. I think Fania and that probably already know this. Mario probably knows this. Somebody might not. Right, so Joe Soap now has 0.05 going long on WTI. And they got margin there and they got free margin. Now they're going long on WTI. Now they're putting an order saying 0.05 short, sell WTI. Immediately, they'll have margin on the market will be 0 and the rest, all of it will be free margin. And they'll say, how come there's no money on the market when I've clearly got 5 micros long, 5 micros short? Because you're completely 100% hedged. The deposit is purely collateral. It will only reflect on the percentage levels difference if there's any difference between the buy amounts and the sell amounts. Like a guy might have 100 positions, if say he's got 55, what's 155 going long, and he's got 45 going short, the margin level will only reflect the 10, which is the differential. The problem with that is they're starting to worry around a margin. I can't put money margin in, and they're scared to close and take the loss. What they do is they completely hedge. Then they say, aha, right, I'm going to close one hedge, it's starting to go my direction. They start closing the buys or whichever the hedge side of the hedge they close, then they get bang margin call, because now they've taken out the equal trade-off between the two. Hope you understand what I mean. It's like going to the casino. If you put 20 grand on red and 20 grand on black, forget the 0, you're hedged. So there's no risk. Only trouble is once you take one off and it's borrowed money, they'll start calling in that loan, because now your free margin's gone through the bloody roof. And it happened horribly. It happened about 3 years ago in a client of mine. And he had about 350. And I tried to tell him massively, he couldn't get it. And I said, you know, you're just hedged. If you start pulling stuff out of there, you've got virtually no free margin. It's all on the market. The only reason it looks good is because you're entirely hedged. He didn't listen, and he pulled a few out, and the whole edifice, like a pack of cards, crumbled, and the whole thing went out. And he thought he'd lost 300 grand. He hadn't lost 300 grand at all. He only had 20 grand free margin. All right, he lost 20 grand, and he couldn't understand the maths behind it. And he came marching into the office, and I handed it over to the MD to handle. You get my point. So remember, the margin or deposit is purely collateral. If you hedge it, no problem. Take away one leg of the hedge, then, like I say, you've got to have enough free margin to maintain that open position. Hope that's not too complicated. I hope you got to understand what that means. We don't want tears coming in with what's happened. Like, not this guy, now I understand, it's not a problem. But that guy who obviously got pretty upset about it. And they do the natural thing, because everyone's so suspicious over here. Call us a bunch of scams, they all do. It's emotion and the rest of it. And of course, when he calmed down, he got the picture. It had to be written down like a piece of paper and the rest of it. But it's important to know the basic maths behind it. Okay. Hope we're all clear on that, or not too befuddled, because it's important. Gone quiet. I think you're a bit befuddled there. You got that, Marius? You got that, Fani? You got that, Claire and Jose and the rest of it? Well, the lights are on. It's still bloody load shedding. 4 hours now. You got it, Marius. Good stuff. Very important, guys. Don't get it this time around. Get it next. Very important. Marnie probably got it. Because being an engineering background, she understands the maths of it, but it's very important. Because often it's a lack of understanding the basic arithmetic behind it trips people up. Good. Simple way to look at margin is like you do in your daily life. If you want to buy a product, you haven't got the cash, you want to borrow the money, well, a person lend you wants collateral. Common sense. I'm standing by the road and putting my head in your window and saying, I'll pay you back honest, can you lend me 1,000 rand? Well, you might hesitate because you're not sure the, you know, you're a bit unsure the guy might actually pay you back. Probably odds are not. And that's why the poor guys who've got the worst track record, because they're battling financially, have horrendous interest rates because the guys are taking enormous risk lending the money. And of course, all the socialists come down, oh, you're picking on the poor, etc. Well, yeah, because I mean, well, you go and lend the money then. Like everything about risk, you want to get the return, you can take into account the risk involved. Okay, hope we're all good on that. Okay, this WTI, if it trades up 68, I'm going to have to mute you all because I might just start saying rude words and swearing and all sorts. It's starting to upset me a bit. I expect to come off a bit, I expect to go, I didn't know, but about this I didn't expect, so I'm a little bit teed off. Anyway, we'll see if it can come right. Okay, guys, anything else you've all got, I think everyone's familiar with the economic calendar. You've all got that. If you haven't, tell me. You've all got the dollar index. If you haven't, tell me and I'll furnish you with it. All know how to save your charts. If you don't, tell me. Specifications. You all know how to do that quickly in quite a moment display. Right click, do that. Gives the information. A guy called up today and asked me questions that were clearly there. He was asking about, actually, matter of fact, he was asking about the S&P. And I explained quite a few times, check. And the reason is, you go to specifications, you can't trade the S&P because it says down there, where did it say? Where's it? Close only. So you can't trade the S&P. All you can do is close, you're already in it. Don't think anyone else is in it. And the other thing, well, obviously, went above his head, why are you going to trade the S&P? If you've got such a minuscule amount of money, rather trade the micro on the NAS. You won't afford the S&P, you know. I don't think he quite got that, but I hope he did. We'll see. Everyone now know the difference to the NAS is the contract size on the micro is 1, on the normal it's 10. And that means 1 is 10 times bigger. So the volume 0.01, same volume, but one's obviously a bigger amount because you're buying a contract at 10 instead of 1. I hope everyone gets that picture, because the people still don't grasp these basics. One has to be honest and take a look at yourself, you know, is it for you? It's like me going, putting myself on the IT board for Google. I think, you know, I think I should maybe question that's a good idea. Am I going to be up to it? The answer clearly is not. Or I'm going to do a dancing or singing competition, like remember Idols. You know, my mum likes it. Well, your mum wouldn't, but remember they're judges. And, you know what I mean? So one has to be honest. If you can't get the basic arithmetic out of it, it might be something you're going to battle with going forward. Don't want to throw good money after bad. Okay. What else? What else? Keep around Nombi, something like that. Is not here, but she's doing just fine. She had the nerve to go for it. She's only been with us about a month, and she's making her own decisions, and that was quite a nice one. And she's now in, I don't know, 130, 140 pips in profit. So she's doing very okay, Maris, no problem. We're interested to see how it pans out tonight. I think it's going to go more as expected, but it normally does. But the reaction could be abnormal, overreaction. But we shall see how the market reacts. Be interesting. Okay, Maris. But yeah, that was a nice one. I gave the reasons fundamentally why I thought this would come off, and nobody's been keen, but this lady did, and bang, she's got it. Well, it was about 136.70, 136.80, clearly a beaut. You'll find, sorry guys, it's horrible this, you'll find in life the ones you leave and don't go for, the ones that work out. That is called Murphy's Law. It's an ever-present law in the human psyche. Quick one, the straddle trade. It's a bit quiet. Don't see much action tonight, so I'm just going over some basic stuff. I'll quickly go over the straddle trade. How it works is this: you go to the euro, wrong one, euro dollar. Not now. Again, not now. It's an example. If you place the trade about 5 minutes before the release of the data, about 25 minutes past. So how you do it? You go to the 50-minute chart, and you're going to put a buy stop above and a buy stop below. If you all know it's inside out, please tell me. I don't want to bore the pants off you. I'd rather tell you a silly joke than bore you if you all know it back to front. But I'm sure one or two don't, so bear with. Okay, so what you do then, you go to new order, all right? Not market execution, but buy stops. You go to pending order, and then you go to buy stop. Buy stop. Okay, now you work out 80 Rand a micro. So if you want to risk 800 Rand, you go for a mini. If you don't want a mini, don't do the trade, go back to classes. If you want to risk 1600, you go for 2 minutes. You work it out. You put in the volume you worked out, and then you put the price. It's going to be 10 pips above the buy, not the sell price. The buy price 1053. You put in 1.1063. No stop loss, no TP. You're going to buy stop, sell stop. One will hedge the other. Don't bother anything else. All you do, and you place it. We're going to get filled on this with some show me trades. Don't want this to get filled, so I want to show it. Then you go to the euro dollar again, and you do the same thing, except it's a sell stop. Put in your volume, and then you put in 1.103, was it 39? There we are. Right, 3, whatever, anyway. 10 pips below the sell, and you place it. Now you've got a buy stop and a sell stop. Make sure they're not filled before 2:30 tomorrow, Friday afternoon, for God's sake. Right, now, what you can drag it. If you can see it dragging up and down. Obviously, it's moving a bit down, so I'm going to drag that down a little bit so I don't get filled. And last thing I want to do is get this thing filled. There we go. That, I know it's not exact. It's about 10 above or below. Anyway, whatever. Right. Now, the news comes out and is extremely bad, repeat, bad for the dollar, what will happen? This will shoot up because you're buying the euro, you'll be selling the dollar. Bad for the dollar means the euro will go up, shoot up. You don't do anything more than you go strictly straight to here and you right click. If you can't do that, go to your stop loss and remove it. Double click on it and put in a 0000 and okay it. Get rid of it. Get rid of your opposite pending order. Okay, that's not been filled. You get rid of it. No cost. It's not filled, and you run with that one. Now you put on the hour chart, and it's going up nicely. Then you go and you put in a stop loss, and you can put a stop loss maybe at speed 20, 30, 40 pips above entry. I don't know, and let the thing ride. Or you can stick. This is out, by the way. You've got your stop loss in here. Hopefully, it's way above your entry anyway, and you just sort of move it all the time. You hold it down and move it. Just hold it down and move the belly thing until eventually you're stopped out. If there's a disparity between the expected and the actual, we should, hopefully that's going to happen. We should get a big move. We don't know which time it's going to be up or down. As long as it triggers one of them, you've closed the pending order that's not been filled and run with it. And quite a few guys in the last couple of times, and the quite frank's come up more or less the same as expected. And so far, it's been a bit disappointing. Yet they still made a bloody great profit, a bloody good profit, maybe great pushing it, a very decent profit to finish off the week. What a pleasure. You get a bit disparity, there's going to be some serious smiles on the faces. You get it. Now, the only downside is, please, guys, don't attend. If you're not going to do the trade, you don't understand it, you don't have money in your account, you're on demos. Because there are guys out there who want to trade, won't be able to do it because you've taken their seat. We only got a maximum about 100 people, and it gets filled up, that 100. It's good marketing. I try and sell the trading room. Not many people take me up on it. Anyway, they my bad salesman, I don't know. But the point is, we don't have a guy with 50 rand account coming in because a guy with 50K can't get in. That's not the way it works. So please don't bother. Okay. But if you got the Tom, don't have to have a lot, maybe 2 or 3, 4 grand or something upwards. Come in and hopefully you'll get a big smile on your face. And even when it's come back as expected, often jumps around a bit, look a bit surprised, don't know what to make of it. Even they have done pretty damn well out of it. The only guys who haven't, I'm going to be quite horribly honest with you, made a right cock of it. They just could not seem to grasp the basic mechanics of it. And got in halfway or went in too late, or put one leg in, didn't put the other one in, or put a limit instead of stop. That's their problem, with all due respect. You know what I mean? If you don't know that by now, I'd suggest don't do it. If you got the concept, in my opinion, it's not exactly earth-shatteringly difficult. But never mind is or not, you've got to get it. To be honest with yourself, if you haven't, don't do it. If you've got the concept, it can be a very profitable way to end the week. And sometimes that profitable, it makes up some of the losses, and you're back at a nice profit. And then you'll be comfortable and confident enough to go to the CPI all happening on 2 o'clock on Wednesday next week. So we got a couple. And then once you've done a couple and they're doing good, you will be addicted like heroin on it. If I turn around, change my mind, we're not doing a one for it, you'll probably say, come on, Roger. No, you won't. Never not do your own anyway. But I'm only joking. The point, once you see that, it's twice a month, something to look forward to. Okay. All good with it? I know you are, Morris and Farley. I'm talking about newer guys. Are you all good with this? Jose, Brian, Claire, not Ken, I know you are, but I mean, Mandela, are you all good with this? Because this can be a nut that really was fun. We've had a pretty good, I don't want to jump the gun, Murphy's Law, commentator skirt, but we've done pretty well lately on it. Good stuff. Right, anybody not got it, and not with 50 rand account, not got it and want to take part in it, I'll do it again, because it's rather do it here when we're relaxed than try to rush me just before the buddy release the data. I've had guys come in late, I might add, and please explain it again. I didn't understand it, but the thing's about to be released. I can't. Okay, you get a general idea. So let's say this shoots up and it takes that out, that order is filled. I need to go and cancel this one. All I do there, right click, I can cancel it down there in my what's called this, the toolbox, or it's called down there, and just delete it. Either do that or go down here and delete. Okay, or if it goes shooting down, first thing you do you delete the order, whichever, I don't care how you do it, you just delete the damn thing and let this one run, get an SL in, and if you got it, how you get it up there, if you want to see it, you just click on trade levels, right click, see trade levels, and just drag the thing down. Not too close, and keep an eye on your economic calendar. What happens now, you've seen is a drastic move, a weakening on the dollar, and it might start to move up a bit, and you panic. Keep an eye on that. So hang on, this is just a bit of profit taking. It's only glitch moving up a bit. It's still got more to go down. So don't get your stop too close or panic. You're in a nice profit. Leave it out of the way, and it moves up a little bit, and then it goes on down, and it's still on board. Keep an eye on that. Happened last time. Said, don't quickly get out of this. I'm looking at it now. The dollar's falling big time. Keep on it. Keep on it. But, you know, don't let the panic. It might be the first time. You're only human. But try not to let the panic involve you. Once you got your stop loss into profit, you're covered anyway. So why not run with the damn thing? Okay, good stuff, Madiri. Anybody not got it? Don't be embarrassed. I don't mind if you got it. Most people, you've got to get it. But it takes several times not. If you still don't get it, and we run out of time, well, next time, give it again until you do get it, because it's, wow. Those who've done it, back me up here. It's a nice way to make a quick buck.
Yes, and it need practice. I cocked my one up the first time as well, so I know about it, but it's definitely worth your while.
Yeah. All right, I'll ask the question another way, Farney. You cocked up the first time, fair enough, as long as you damaged limitation. The second time, did you cock it up? I hope the word is no.
No, definitely.
Yeah,
That's
point.
why I continue with it.
Definitely no. Sorry to interrupt that. Definitely no. It's when they continue to cock it up. My patience starts to run a bit because this is not that complicated. I have to start saying, I don't want to lose your business. Well, the company doesn't. Doesn't affect me too much. The company does in a way around the actually. But as a human being to another human being, you got to start thinking, is this for you? You know what I mean? It's like after 200th driving lesson and you still storm the car when you're trying to slip into first gear. Maybe driving's not for you. You know what I mean? Good stuff. Okay. So, excuse me, I've missed it. Please repeat. Okay, just a second. Excuse me, Google letter, I'll pronounce it properly. I've just got to go to the little boy's room. As you can probably see, I drink a lot of tea. I'm a bit of a tea addict, to say the least. But I get up in the morning and I've had about 2 or 3 cups by about 6:37. I get the withdrawal effects. I get the DTs, not delirium tremens, lack of tea. Okay. By the way, please be honest with me, Google. Before I go into it again, I'm going to do it with pleasure. Great stuff, Madiri. I'm going to ask you an honest question. Please be honest. Do you have more than £2,000 in your account? If you don't, I suggest you won't be able to use the trading room on 2 o'clock because really for people who've got £2,000 or more. Do you have £2,000 or more in your account? Just put yes or no will do. Now I'll go into it again because I can't. It's not what. Otherwise, it's not worth you doing it. You know what I mean? I can't kind of everyone check it this side. Normally I can because I have access to that, but I'm trading in a moment. So yeah, Google letter, just yes or no. Do you have £2,000 or more in your account? I know Solly you do, but I'm talking about Google letter. I'm asking you, I'm asking him. Because you was a he. No, well, yeah, all right. But don't join us in the trade room for it. I explain the concept quickly, but don't join us in the trade room because you'll be keeping people out. It's simply what we call a buy stop, sell stop. Okay, you put a buy stop above the mark. I'll do it quickly again for you. You go to the 15-minute chart on the euro dollar and you put a buy order in and you work out your volumes. Okay, you put buy stop and you work out the volume which you're comfortable with. You put that in, you put the price 10 pips above the market. The 2 there is a point. We talk about the 4th decimal place. So it's 10 pips above that. You put in 1.1064. And then you place the order. You see it all right there? Then you go back to euro dollar. You go to pending order. You put the correct amount of volume in and you put 10 pips below the sell price, which is 1052, will clearly be 1.1042, and you place the order. No stop loss, no TP. It's not a buy order, sell order, buy trade or sell trade. It's a straddle trade. What happens then when the market releases the data? It's either going to shoot up or shoot down. We don't know. If it shoots down, you cancel the other one that's not filled. If it shoots up, you cancel this one, and then you let it run and you take your profit accordingly. Got it now? I don't know what your finance is like, by the way. I just want to give a little tip to guys. If just to be aware, I don't mind a person putting 100 rand as long as they're aware. My worry is people think they can trade successfully when they're undercapitalized. It's a good learning time. It's a good time to learn. That's fine. But don't think you can make lots of money when you're undercapitalized. You do need capital in any business. Good stuff. Just bear that in mind. Because a lot of guys put a small amount, just get their way around, feeling confident. Can they withdraw the funds? Who are we? Are we a bunch of scammers? I get that completely. I live in jail. But what I do have a problem with guys put in squat and think they're going to make lots of money. Unless you get very lucky, like win the lottery. No. Just bear that in mind. What you put in, you get out. And it's quite frankly, it's a big problem we've got. People are putting squat in and wondering why it makes some ridiculous return because somebody promised them on YouTube or wherever it is it's going to happen. Common sense should tell you that it's not going to be a likely scenario. So that's fair enough. Okay. All right. So that's how you do it. Get rid of these. Don't want to leave them there. Okay, good stuff. Right, any trades you're in, open or otherwise, you want to have a look? Not in, no point. Any open trades you got, you want to have a look at or discuss, something like that? AD CAD. Are you short or long this one? Well, clearly I'm short. The stop loss is there, and I entered there, so I'm not a happy chappy. But if it makes you feel any better, I'm suffering as well. So you're short. That's fine. Well, that's my stop. I'm still in it. I'm hoping this 50-day moving average is going to hold. And it's going to come off. It's tried to break it. It hasn't. Tried to break it yesterday. It hasn't. Tried to break it there. It hasn't. It tried to break it there. It hasn't. So I'm hoping that's going to hold and it's going to come off. As mentioned before. I'm not quite sure why. I can give you all sorts of guesswork. I'll give you some intelligent reason why, but I don't know 100% why. Canada, although a separate economy, tends to have some sort of symbiotic relationship with the States when it comes to currency movements. The best I can come up with. So if that currency weakens with the dollar, which might occur, that unfortunately might get stopped out. But if Powell, I'd be a bit surprised if he does continue to say, well, look, it might have to increase again in the year. That dollar will shoot up, the Canadian will probably go along with it, and the AUD will fly off. I'm afraid to say I'm slightly leaning towards we might get stopped out on this, but don't get out of it now. Might not be. Keep the fingers crossed. I think we're leaning on the odds with, like I mentioned earlier, the banks coming in, not wittingly, but they're not really, it's not their plan. Curtailing their lending and increasing what's called the reason why they won't lend, it's not the right word, credentials to before they gain the loan amount, is helping to drive prices down a bit, to try to curb inflation and pissing off a lot of guys who want people to borrow money to buy their products. Not very happy about it. Anyway, and I think that might be a scenario, I'm guessing, which would incur slightly weaker. And if you get a weaker dollar, probably get a weaker Canadian, which means you get that move on the AUD. I hope I'm wrong on that and it doesn't pan out. Not just for your sake, for mine as well, but I think that might occur. But we shall see. At the moment, I'm just saying, let it run. Okay. I just don't like having staring in the face. I'm going to knock that off, put on the one. I'll put this out of the way as well. I don't like watching it all the time because it plays with your mind. I've been doing it for a while, it still plays with my mind. When you start it plays havoc with your mind. Okay, Anne-Marie. So just a couple of tips you've all heard before. Repeat makes perfect. When you modify your stock, don't get it too close. Try and understand you're in a highly nervous, emotional situation. Take a deep breath and just calm yourself down and say, hang on, it's a bit too close. I'm going out at the moment. I might be out for half an hour. I need to protect myself, but don't want to get it too close and then miss out on a good trade. Number 3, don't take your profits too quick. Rather give the trade a chance. You've got your strategy. You worked out your volumes. You worked out your risk. You're comfortable with it, which you should be before you enter the trade. Therefore, if the worst comes to worst, you can handle it. But you're not stopped out. You're still in the trade. And now it's moving your direction. You can modify it, but not too close. This taking profit at a speed of light and holding on forever to losses is not the way to trade. And people then will blame me, they'll blame you, they'll blame, I don't know, they'll blame the government, they'll blame everybody. But no, it's just emotional bad trading practice. And try, if you can, to take this seriously, try and get some capital. Trying to trade the amount of work, the amount of effort, the amount of time you're going to put into this, make success of it, and the returns you get with a minute amount of capital. It's like saying, I'm working for £1 an hour. If you're happy to do that, I've got a job for you. Come work for me. And work on percentages. Don't think if I put in £5 grand, I make £100 a day. Because 100 Rand doesn't sound much, and 5 grand your mind sounds a lot. But 100 Rand a day, 20 days a month, 20 days times 100 is 2,000 a month. 2 grand a month on 5,000 Rand is 40% a month. Who consistently gives a return of 480%, 480% per year? And I've spoken to guys who said, what do you think of that? And so, is that good or bad? And so I'm not sure. They don't know that 480% a year is good or bad. That part worries me because they're in highly speculative derivative products without understanding basic percentages. That is a worry. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with not knowing, but you don't, like I say, you don't make me chairman of the board of the IT section. I'm clearly not really too knowledgeable about IT. You got to understand what's involved. Everybody wants to put a little and get a hell of a lot out, but you've got to put in perspective. Remember, maybe 20 grand sounds a lot to you, but this is $1 trillion market. It's not a lot of money in a $1 trillion market. And it's not a lot of money in most markets. I don't think you put 20 grand in and start making a decent living out of it, unless you're living on 20 rand a month or something stupid under. But try and put it in perspective and remember what you put in, what you get out, and it'll save a lot of tears. And then you probably have a good chance of making a success of it. Do you mean I make it straight? If you get out now, it's a loss. It hits your teeth. If it hits your stop loss, obviously a loss. If it recovers, you make a profit. Depending on what happens tonight, it might still come right. I don't know. I'm leaning a little bit on me, a little bit worried about it. But still, what do I know? It might come out all right. If you go out now, obviously been a loss. Yeah. Monday, I hope you're hearing what I'm talking about. You're going to take losses. You can't handle losses in the wrong business. And if you say I can't handle it, I'll hold on until it becomes a profit. It's the quickest way to the poorhouse. If it gets worse and worse, now you're 40–50% of your entire capital is in a minus, and now you're shaky. You're not thinking straight. Well, you better get out of this. I can't take that. So you can't take that. What do you want to do? Make a bigger loss? Oh, it must turn around. Why must it turn around? You know what I mean? Work out where your stop loss. We'll give you the signal. Work out the correct volumes. You get stopped out, so be it. It's going to happen. Absolutely, it's going to happen. But if you ride the winners more, you'll handle it because you'll net come out. But if you're worried about, oh, this, and you're worried about that, your emotions control you. You're not trading with your head, you're trading with your feeling. And don't say you're praying here, not being pro anti-religion, just make a statement. Every person who's highly religious praying to go up is somebody equally highly religious and also a brilliant human being who's done everything right in life, praying for it to go down. Why should the deity favor you instead of the other person, or vice versa? Just got to remember, the market doesn't know you, you don't know it. It'll do what it has to do. There's millions of people out there trading. Stick with your strategy and understand it. And accept you're going to fall off a bicycle sometime. You're going to make bicycle riding your career. Just really get back on it and understand why and learn. Ask Marnie, not Marnie, keep saying Marnie out. Farney, did you, after you made the cut the first time, did you do it again? Dear, resounding no. Learn from it. That's the idea. Use it as school fees, not as a time to kick and scream and shout. You can't feel like I certainly do. I hate it. Nobody likes it, but still try and learn from it. I can't overemphasize the part that psychology plays at all times throughout your training career, but especially in the fear-driven comfort zone, which is tiny when you start, and confidence levels at the beginning. It plays an enormous part, and that's got to be handled. Therefore, we don't have classes on that. Okay, all good. All right. Yeah. Anything else? WTI is still hovering, doing sod all. That's probably waiting. I think most of the market now is going to wait. So don't expect any fireworks before 8 o'clock. Just saying. Okay. So you can stare if you like it, if it turns you on. But I'm just saying, don't expect fireworks till that time. Most guys will be sitting and waiting. Anybody here want to do a dollar trade right now? Anybody want it? Hey, Farney, do you want to do a dollar trade right now? Do you want to enter a dollar trade right now? Do you want to get into gold right now?
No, thank you. I'm rather have a cold one and relax.
Ah, yeah. Clearly, he knew that was a rhetorical question, but I did like his answer. Yeah, he's not going to go for gold. He's going to go for cold. Yeah, go for gold labeled whiskey instead. Because there's such a thing, but anyway.
I like it. You put it through nicely.
Go, yeah, that's a good idea. Go Johnny Walker Gold. Go long on a Johnny Walker Gold. There you are. Go long Johnny Walker Gold label. There you are. That's my strong suggestion to you guys. Very strong suggestion. And remember, I'm legally allowed to advise you on this. Go long on Johnny Walker Gold label right this instant. And never mind what your wife says. If you're the female, never mind what your husband says. You got it on top authority. I've met Prince Charles once a few years ago, so I'm worth listening to. That's a joke, by the way. About meeting Prince Charles, by the way, or King Charles, actually, yeah. Not the gold, such a thing, yeah. Not that I'm a great expert in the royal family, I don't really follow it much. I'm happy for him, good, but I don't really follow it much. Okay, right. Anything else you want to just go over quickly, guys? So some of the guys, Obed, etc., are you on the same page? Any questions you'd like to ask? Wanzili, some of the guys don't want to feel left out. Any questions, Jose? Are you good? Any questions you want to ask before we wrap this up? Because it's going to slide away sideways and going forward. Anything? Just want to just quickly go over. We've got the time. We might as well do it. You're good, okay? Now, if I was to ask that same question to Farney, he'd say, "I am great." Then I know he's already opened that gold label whiskey and he's on his second one already. But seriously, guys, Obed, are you good? You're getting the hang of this now? It's starting to, I know it's still a bit foggy, but is there any sort of clarity coming through? Is it starting to say, hang on, there might be something going on here that might be attainable? You're good. That's what I want to hear. Good. Not what I want to hear. I want to hear the truth, actually. Not as long as it's not going to insult me. But yeah, you're getting it. Good. Okay, right. Sorry about the WTI. I still think that the idea was okay. Well, I would say that, wouldn't I? And it's not giving us a very good time at the moment. Just pray it doesn't get stopped out, and pray we get some help from Powell later on. If we get help from Powell on the WI, it might be a negative on the AUD cash. Don't worry about it. Anyway, win on one, lose the other, whatever. But we've had the gold hit TP. We've had the CAD JPY hit TP. And remember, we got a risk reward on there. So 2 winners make up for about 3 or 4 losers. So we should be, in theory, okay. How's that? Before you go, finally, EJS one. That didn't go for it, so I don't know what it is now. AUD CHF, wasn't it? Did you go? Oh, you didn't have enough margin. That's right.
Yes, that's correct.
Where's my 10 gone?
I didn't go for it.
Where's my 10 gone? Okay, fair enough. Where's my 10 gone? Okay, I must have ripped the wrong button. There you are. Don't forget, save your charts. If you suddenly see it all wonky or not right, right click and then go to templates and go to the chart you save. Make sure you save your charts. Google Let's see you got that. Right click, go to templates, save template, save it, put your name in or Google or Googs or whatever, and then save it. So if you lose your charts, all you do is you go back there, save many of them, just go to templates and then pick the one you like and save, click on it, and it's back up in business. Hope you're all good. Yeah. Anybody do the EJS one on that one? Okay, Sephora, I just want to explain what I said earlier on. I don't know, number one. So what do I think? Do not act on it. What I think that the 0.25% will come about. Very little doubt about that. Nothing's guaranteed 100%, but I'm over 95% certain. Not 0.25%. Right. Be a little bit of a jump in the dollar, and then the Q&A I'm going to explain. The first question they'll be asking, do you foresee any more interest rates occurring? He will then, in a long-winded way, will probably turn around and say, aha, this is what I think. He might not say this. He's got information there, we call it the beige book, updated, which I don't have. He's got that, he's got access to that. He might turn around, well, as it's going at the moment, we're seeing the banks are lending a little, put it far more economic jargon than I'm doing, far better than I do. I'll start to tighten and be more restrictive in their lending, which is helping our controlling of inflation. So at this stage, this is probably going to be the last for now, but we'll keep a strong eye on it in case it's required again. That little bit will be enough to weaken the dollar. The next question will be, do you see any possibility this year of maybe bringing interest rates down? If it continues in the fashion we say, it's a good chance, but we'll have to monitor it later on before we do that. Again, that will be seen as a good sign, which means not more interest rates, which don't want to happen, which again will mean a weakening of the dollar. If the dollar weakens, then the Dow, gold, indices, shares will go up. I think that's the likelihood. Okay. And quite frankly, so will WTI come to our rescue. Which talk about that answer your question for. Let's go on. Talk about that. It's amazing. This morning they put the petrol price up just as oil's falling out of bed, eh? Amazing, eh? They just shoved it up over 30 cents this morning, first thing. Just as bloody oil prices flying off. Eh? Want to be quick as well to put it back to normal again, we should see. Okay, anything else? Did you get that before I move on? Sephora, are you with me on that? Don't act on it, we don't know. And you just ask my opinion, that's all is an opinion. We'll see if I've got right or wrong. And so many other things can come into play as well. Okay. Are we good?
Yes, thank you. I just had a look now and I see one of the fundis, the inventories on crude did contribute to this bad situation on WTI.
Thank you. I forgot to look at that. Quite right. See it now on the other screen. 0.54 compared to 0.7, slightly lower. Hang on, slightly lower. So it contributed in the wrong way around. If it's lower, it means supply and demand should actually have a positive effect on WTI. Okay. WTI, Western Texas Intermediates, American oil. And looks like the opposite occurred.
Yeah, but Roger, if you look at the US crude oil inventories, the actual was minus 1.28 and the forecast was minus 1.1
I must be giving a
million
different one to you.
barrels.
Well, then I've got a different one to you. I've got 6:30. I've got it up at 0.54, actual expected 0.74. So it's actually 200,000 barrels below expectation, the inventories, according to mine in front of me here. So maybe you're looking at differently.
No, that's a Cushing one. So you see, I really do not understand really the difference between the crude oil inventories and then the Cushing crude oil inventories. That's where the two differences. The crude oil inventories is a 3-star and the other one is a true star.
Okay, I'll have to investigate. I didn't know that myself. Okay, thanks for pointing that out. I don't know.
Please,
I'm
if
not-
you
I'm
can help.
filtering my way out. I don't know. You can click on it if you like. It might give a reason, but I didn't know that. I'll click on it now before we go. We've got a few moments, but I didn't know that. Cushing, Oklahoma. Oh, it's a particular storage one at a place called. Oh, I see now. Cushing is a place in Oklahoma where they have the storage there. Storage level at Cushing are important because it serves as a delivery point for the US crude oil benchmark, Western Texas Intermediate. Ah, well. I'm sorry, mate. You'll have to Google that. I don't know. Because that is clearly lower, which should be positive. This is the opposite happening. So, yeah, okay. Don't know. Can't find out if I can remember. Okay, thanks for pointing that. You can remind me again if you haven't found out, I haven't found out. I'll ask somebody who still don't know. We'll have to find out. It makes no sense. If one comes up, what is the more important one? Because I've got this one down on mine as I think it's a 2-star. Yeah, I've got the Cushing one, and as I know now, it's a place in Oklahoma. I didn't know a moment ago. That's a 2-star, and you reckon the other one's a 3-star? That's interesting. Well, that one more important. But this is seriously giving me some jip now. So you know, and Mark Shearer called me up, and he got into it as well on my advice. So he's not very happy with me at the moment. Hope his Cat JP. Oh no, missing that. Hope his goal one made him feel better. Anyway, okay, what else we can do? All right, guys, that's about it. I think anything else before we close up till tomorrow?
Not from my side. Thank you very much.
Okay, pleasure, guys. All right, if that's okay with you guys, catch you tomorrow. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for your support. And Jose and everyone. And catch you tomorrow. I hope this bloody WTI comes to party. Cheers.